Hey folks, I am going to be candid with you. Ever since July, this podcast has been a lot harder to manage. In the interest of solidarity with the strike, we have not only closed ourselves off from covering movies and TV shows that are easier to access and, for want of a better word, consume than most of the non-struck work, we've also had to edit out references to them, when this podcast is all about the connections between stories. Now, to be clear, I of course place the blame solely on the AMPTP, but the fact is solidarity does not stop the burnout from setting in, especially when factoring in the fact that this is far from the only concern in my life between my personal life and just witnessing everything going on in the real world. And all that has kind of come to a head with the promised episode covering the strange case of the Alchemist's daughter by Theodora Goss. This is an episode I have been looking forward to for a long time, but unfortunately ended up getting riddled with complications between being unable to have all interested parties ready to talk about it before last week and scheduling conflicts, meaning we only got to recording it last night, very late last night, in fact. And that left me woefully unprepared for the way this ended up being twice as long as our average recording, and still being unable to cover it quite as well as I would have liked. And frankly, the prospect of editing all over 3 hours of raw footage in the span of a day to have it ready for you by tomorrow morning left me terrified. I almost had a panic attack, I'll be completely honest with you. And unfortunately, since I do have to work for a living, I can't just keep on trucking on nonstop. So for now, for my own sanity, I am postponing the episode. It will be posted when I am finally able to get it done, but for the sake of my mental health, I really do need to step back from it for a bit to give myself time to make it the episode that you all deserve. Now, that does not mean you are not getting an episode tomorrow. Fortunately, I do have much easier to manage footage for a segment that was actually going to be part of this episode that I'm calling IER TLDR, where we basically summarize the original texts as well as I can. Various members of the IER family were so kind to basically summarize the kind of stories that that Monster Month was supposed to be all about. And so I will be editing those all together into one episode. You will have that by midnight tomorrow. And I do believe you will all enjoy it. And again, Strange Case is on its way. It's just going to be a little later than expected. And with that in mind, I hope you all have a very happy and very safe Halloween.